P. Diddy has just been sentenced to 4 years in federal prison, as captured in these courtroom sketches depicting him crying into his hands and even falling to the floor upon hearing the news. But what will happen to him once he arrives there? As someone who has recently spent 10 years in prison myself, I can tell you exactly what his fate will be and the reasons why. Extortion, blackmail, gangs, and more. But my final conclusion may not be at all what you expected to hear. I'll explain everything. Let's get started. So, first off, let's start with his charges, P. Diddy's charges. What kind of heat or trouble will that bring his way in prison from these inmates who are they're such good, heroic, morally superior people than people like P. Diddy. P. Diddy has the charges of sex trafficking. Oh, they're gonna not do anything. They don't give a crap about that. If they do something, we got a long list to go to cover, but it's not going to be because of his charges. They don't care what he did to harm women. As I always say, most of these guys have beaten the crap out of their baby mama, even if they're not in there for that. They have, and they deal with baby mama or girlfriend drama every day on the phone when girls finally realize, I don't want to keep talking to this guy. He's still got another 7 years to go. I think I want to move on with my life. And now all of a sudden they want to kill her, just some crazy stuff. All these inmates, these male inmates are just unhinged in the head about women. Again, most of them, you can Google this, often expose themselves, their private parts, to female corrections officers with no consent. To pleasure themselves and get off on it, whether, no matter how she feels about that, they don't care. You think these guys are going around beating people up or stabbing them because you hurt a woman? They don't give a crap. They don't give a crap. They all hurt women in one way or another. So he's fine there. I don't care what movies you watched or who's telling you online that people in prison care about hurting grown adult women. They don't. Let's talk about where he's going, what kind of reputation it has. Well, we don't know the exact facility yet, but we know based off his time, the amount of time he was sentenced to, 50 months or 4 years, he's going to a minimum security federal prison. Great place, awesome place. They probably got a volleyball court, handball. It might even have a little bit of pickleball courts, basketball. They got everything's real nice there, And if you think I'm exaggerating, look it up. I'm not. It's going to be real nice. And usually when you go to minimum security, you're with other people who have reached minimum security. They're probably, a lot of that is based on the amount of time that you have. And, as long as you don't have any type of violent, disciplinary charges that come from within the prison, not like outside charges you got outside of prison, but like violent charges and disciplinaries that you've done, actions you've done within the prison, as long as you don't have any history of that, which he's brand new, so he won't have that. Yeah, you're good. Everyone, that's kind of where they put people, this minimum security facility. And I'll tell you, with these minimum security places, they got it so good compared to these other places, even medium or maximum security. They got it so good that nobody wants to really go out of their way and do anything harsh or heinous to risk losing their spot at this sweet, sweet milk and honey land of minimum security federal prison. Okay. So you don't get as many fights and stuff like he probably has seen more fights and stabbings, which we know this from articles. There have been riots and stabbings and inmates just brutally attacked at the current jail, just the county jail in Brooklyn, that he's spent the last year at. That jail is 10 times worse than the place he will be going to actually serve his time. Okay. It's not like a real prison in terms of what you think of when you think of prison. He's got it made. So there's really not some huge threat of violence against him. And that kind of brings me to have there been threats? I do these kinds of videos on all types of people. So there's certain categories we run through and we always it's like a checklist. Let's talk about threats. Has there been a single threat against Diddy his entire time, just locked up in this very dangerous Brooklyn jail since he's been there? Nope. I found one website, no threats reported whatsoever. I found one website that reported that, an inmate was going to take his life and an officer stopped the inmate that had a shank. Also, during this article, they misspelled several words, and it came from a website called According to Hip Hop, hiphop.com. Call me crazy. I wouldn't put you in my top 5 list of most reputable news sources. And you're misspelling words. Do you have no editor? Do you not have an editor? Like, what kind of crap show are you running here? You're just putting out anything. Other than that, I didn't see anything anywhere on any reputable news source reporting that there was a threat made against Diddy in this jail. So looks like they just wanted some clicks. Other than that, no gang is out for him. Nobody wants. For what reason? There has to be a reason. So he didn't even have any people waiting on him. There's no reason. No gangs are wanting him and just foaming at the mouth to get to him. Yes, there was something said by a warden during all of this Diddy stuff. Inmates might want to get him because it would be a badge of honor to attack a celebrity such as Diddy. I guess. At the end of the day, that badge of honor is going to bring you $0. And then on the flip side, which we'll get into next, not attacking Diddy and befriending Diddy, even if it's very disingenuous and fake and it's all a facade, which every relationship in prison is, by the way. And everyone knows this, and they're okay because you have to kind of play this little game and do this little dance in prison. Being on his good side could bring you who knows what. This guy is a multi-millionaire with endless connections. Why would I stab him? Am I that morally driven? Any of these inmates around him? You think so? Yeah? No? I want that badge of honor. I'm the guy who stabbed Diddy. You could be the guy who got $100,000 sent to his bank account from Diddy. Which one do you want? You think people care? No. There's no threats. To my next point, that brings me. Inmates want to get on his good side because of the fact that he does get out so soon. And you're like, he doesn't get out soon. He's got to do 4 years. Well, he got sentenced to 4 years. You do about 10 months off of every 12 months you're sentenced to. So he got sentenced to 50. He'll do about 40. Totally understand if you're like, well, that's still 40 months. That's a long time, brother. Yeah, I guess. Not to an inmate. Not to someone who's been in prison and, fully adapted and accepted the gravity of their actions and the situation they've placed themselves in. Sounds like Diddy has not done that yet. Hence why he broke down into tears and held his face and then even fell to the floor. He really convinced himself that he was going home today and was going to, or maybe was going to be sentenced to 11 months, 14 months. I think I saw an article. His lawyers were asking for no more than 14 months. Yeah. Nice try. So to find out he got 50, he broke down into tears. Not your average hardened convict, right? But to your average hardened convict, which he will be surrounded by. Mind you, a lot of these people on this little minimum security prison yard, they could have served 22 years already. And they were sentenced to 24. So now they have 2 years left. And so because of that, they got sent down to this very low yard. So yeah, you're around other people who have just a little bit of time, but that don't mean they ain't been there for decades and decades. And they have been shaped, molded, and formed as humans by the prison system, the deadly part of the prison system, because they had to do the majority of their time in these deadly places. So you still got, you still got those kind of people around you, all around you. And they're going to look at it like, oh, he's got 4 years. And the way they calculate time in their head, I can vouch for this personally. The way they calculate time in their head, oh, you got 4 years. And what are you going to do off that? Or maybe like just about 3 years. Oh, you're practically home. At the 2-year mark, it's like a cliche. People in prison start saying, yeah, when I get down to about 2 years, I'm going to start working out, doing sit-ups and push-ups and pull-ups and crunches and squats. I'm going to get in shape where I go. That mind you, that's a 2-year preparation. When I get down to about 2 years, I'm going to get in shape. They look at 2 years as like, oh, I'm coming out in about like 6 months, 4 months. Time to get in shape. 2 years is so minuscule. You don't even want to utter those words around other people because they have so much longer on average to do that you almost sound braggadocious. So, point is, the reason my point is, inmates are going to know, oh, you got to do about 3 years. You're getting out soon. In my mind, I consider your time to be soon that you'll get out. So it will benefit me very soon if I befriend you, help you out a lot, keep you out of trouble, keep people away from you, keep people from harming you, be your protector, blah, 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 be your supplier of what? I don't know, contraband, drugs, phones, anything he wants. I don't know. I don't know the man. I don't know. Maybe he wants tobacco. Maybe whatever he wants that he's not allowed to have and you can help him get. Whether that's drugs or whether that's safety from violence, whatever he wants that he can't have, but you can give it to him. You're valuable to him. Prison Politics 101. If you're useless to everyone, if you're not useful to anyone, you're useless to everyone. Always remain useful because you will always have a dog in the fight and keep yourself alive. Okay? Because if you're useless to everyone, nobody cares what happens to you or how unjust it is. Now, let's move on. The only way that we hear a news article, a news update, that P. Diddy has been attacked in prison, here's the only way that could happen. It could happen. I've said all these things in his favor. I'm not saying it could not happen because honestly, at the end of the day, prison is so unpredictable. You have a wide array of colorful characters in there from all different parts of the mental health pool here. Someone could wake up one day, their baby mama left them. They'll never see their kids again. And they were really looking forward to that biscuit. And today the delivery truck didn't bring the biscuit mix. And so they handed us a piece of sliced bread instead. And so that really just, oh man, that's a camel who got his back broke by a straw. That sent him over the edge. And you know what? He's looking for trouble. You know what? Diddy, you're over here living so good. You got all this money. Everybody loves you. You got all this stuff. You can buy all this food and canteen. Man, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to try to. You can never rule that out or account for the randomness that may happen from some random person for a random reason. This is all just like 90% generalities of how prison goes and what dictates how it goes. Okay. But the only way we hear that he gets attacked is if a violent gang member, in my mind, with a generality, 90%, a violent gang member who has a lot of power and influence and control on that yard, because even though it's a minimum security yard, someone will arrive. Someone has to be at the top. Someone has to take over. Someone has to have more influence than anyone else there. See what I'm saying? Even if it's not as ruthless and cutthroat and feared, I mean, someone there is going to be that guy, even if it's a little safe little kitty camp yard. Someone's going to be that guy for whatever reason. A violent gang member is going to approach him with a proposition, probably to benefit off of him with money or status once Diddy gets out, and want connections and want him to bring him into his circle and help him, or even pay for a lawyer to handle his appeals and stuff so that he, anything, could be anything of interest to this inmate. And if Diddy agrees to it or disagrees to it, if he disagrees to it and then / agrees to it and then doesn't fulfill something that he should, as a part of that deal, have done while he's still there in prison. If he starts acting funny, changing up, he's not coming through and doing what he said he'd do, then I would bet that we'd see someone be like, you know what? Oh yeah, you think you can play with me like that? Okay. There I could see it. Other than that, which I'll add on the end right there, I doubt someone like Diddy would even do that. If you make something, you make a deal. This guy is a businessman. He's a king of deals. He's been through the ringer. He knows the industry, which is probably way more cutthroat than just prison, which, prison ain't far behind. I'd say prison's right up there with like actual government politics. You got prison politics, and then you got like industry politics. They all kind of, you all kind of bring a skill into it. It all applies. I don't think Diddy would be silly enough to make a important deal with a dangerous guy and then do a foolish move in relation to it to where he would end up getting himself hurt. But who knows? At the end of the day, I don't know the guy. Maybe he is stupid. I don't know. But I just assume he's not because of his time in the cutthroat business industry of music and entertainment, right? Let's move on to this. We're getting down to the end. I want you to remember prison is a place of lies, extortion, politics, backstabbing, and manipulation. Let's not forget what got Diddy in here in the first place. P. Diddy is literally in prison for most of this stuff. To the 10th degree, to the extreme. That's where he feels comfortable, and that's where he operates, and that's where he thrives. He's right at home. Yeah, I'll do this for you. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, I know someone's. Oh, I'm such a. Oh, I can do that. Man, brother, I can make you a superstar. Oh, man, I can make you a millionaire if you just hang on. These inmates who are often wondering, how am I going to get a package of ramen noodles for tonight so that my stomach isn't growling before I go to sleep? These inmates are going to eat it up. And then you want to talk about blackmail, extortion. Imagine using money to entice guards. And if you think this don't happen, Google it. You know how many guards get caught, having relations with inmates, smuggling things in for inmates, doing things they're not supposed to for inmates, for people nowhere near the status or money or connections or just the implication of life-changing ability that Diddy brings. That's just a fact. And that's how inmates are going to see it, whether he can or can't, whether he will or won't, whether he's lying or telling the truth and genuinely intends to do that favor for you at whatever time. His name, he can use it to convince you of these things, whatever you hold near and dear, to manipulate you. And he's no stranger to that, as we know. That's what this whole court case is about. He will thrive there. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. That's my analysis. Let me know what you think in the comments. And other than that, I will see you next time.